Hi, welcome to the C Sharp programming tutorial. The last tutorial we covered the single dimension array. Today we're going to be looking at the multi-dimension array. The multi-dimension array may be that you have those in columns. It could be that you want to match the x and y axis. It can be like for many different things, but you can also have like multi-dimensional array. It's got more than just two index numbers. It can have three or many more. You could have three because you want the xy axis plus the z axis, but you can have it for any reason that you feel fit to have an array of numbers, strings, or whatever. And so to declare and to instantiate an array object, it's the same as doing the same thing for a single dimension array as it is for multi-dimensional array. And I've already got a couple of examples up here. The last tutorial we done numbers. We done int in square brackets. We called it numbers so that we can access it by the name number. That was identifier. Equals new because it's a new object. And then int square brackets and the size of the array. We could have made it whatever size we wanted to, but we made it quite simple. And so that was an single dimension integer array created and instantiated. Now underneath you can see that this is the multi-dimensional array, and there's going to be, instead of one index number 3, we're going to have 2 in here, and we're going to have 3. So we're going to say that 2 is columns, and then we're going to say like 3 is rows. No, we'll do x, 2 is x, and 3 is y. So yeah, we'll just do that, even though we've got 2 and 3. No, we'll go for rows and columns. It's probably better. Right, so this is a row and that's a column. Or we may change it around, I'm not too sure. But because we've got 2 index numbers instead of 1, we put a comma when we first declare an array. We put a comma in the square brackets, and you can see here there's none there. And what that comma is doing is saying we're separating 2 numbers. Now, if you look at the number system, number 1 with number 4, if there's nothing to separate it, space or comma, then and they were joined together, then that would be 14. And so 2 here separated with a comma, it's like 2 separate numbers, because you've got to take away the comma and join them together, and you've got 23. So that's what the comma is for. So if you had an array of x, y, z axis, that's 3 different index numbers, you would put another comma in to separate 3 numbers. So if you had 4 index numbers in this array, you would have 3 commas separating them. So we only need 1 because we've just got 2 numbers to separate. So that's how you declare. You don't declare any numbers in the single dimension. You don't declare any in the multi-dimension, but you do have to have the comma, even though there's no numbers there, to separate them. And so that's what's different from most languages. This wee comma here, and if you had more, you'd have more commas. But again, it doesn't get, the size of the array doesn't get declared until the end. So where we said there was 3 elements in this array, we've got 2 let's say columns and 3 rows. We've not made our mind which ones which yet. So, and that's it, that's the array declared. And so now we've got there's another way of doing it. We've done this last tutorial as well. There's 2 different ways of creating an array and assigning object values to them. So this is it declared, and the values are assigned to it, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And because we've done it this way, we didn't have to say it was a 4, an array of 4 elements. Well, we could still do and it would work, but with this way you don't have to do that, but you have to do it with this one. Maybe some compilers you get away with it, but it's always, because it's multi-dimensional, it's better to just do it this way. And so it's the exact same, and then you've got your comma, and if you had more than two indexes, you'd have more commas. We're giving it a name, then we've used a new keyword, and you can get away with not using a new keyword, but I've got it in there just in case. And then int in the square brackets, and what's different is not one number, we've got two numbers separated by a comma. So that's the columns and that's the rows. And the way we declare it, all we done with the braces and the single one was give it the numbers all separated with a comma, and then that was transferred into the array. Now with the multi-dimension, you've got to remember you've got like the column index, and then you've got the row index. Now the column index is 2, so there's 2 columns. So the first number is the braces, and what is inside the braces is the second number. And so, and it's 3 elements in there. So we've got 1 element, 2 elements, 3 elements. And so that's the rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, on column 0, 1, or column 2, or column 0 or column 1. And this here is the second column. And inside here is the 3 values inside inside the rows of that column. So if we made this here 4, then we would have to have separate with and we've got this separated with commas as well, the same as there and the same as here. So what we would do is we'd have more braces with 3 items inside them, separated with columns. So now we've got 4 columns, each with 3 values inside them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one separated with a column, a comma, and each one has 3 values inside. Now if we made that 2, then it's only 2 values inside. So if we run this, we'll see that we've got no errors. And so I'm going to stop the tutorial and start another one. It's like a part 2 or another tutorial to continue with this, because it's taking a while to do it. I don't want the tutorials to be too long. And so the next one will be like assigning values to it plus accessing those values, and then after that we'll go into jagged arrays. Again, thank you for your time, and if this has helped anyone, then that's the whole purpose of these. Because the idea is that we can all share information and knowledge and all help each other. If it's just one person's help, then I'm very, very happy. Thank you.